prayers have been answered. The Pro Wrestling Report Primetime is back without David Herro, but with a preview of tomorrow's WWE Royal Rumble. As well as that, we bring you all the latest from WWE, TNA, NXT, ROH, hot news, and so much more. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the longest running wrestling talk show in the world, right here, right now, on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV, the longest running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Herro and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night for Saturday, January 23rd, 2016. It's a new year and it's a new day here on the Pro Wrestling Report because, as you saw at Blizzard Brawl, David Herro lost his match to Abyss. That might have had a little bit to do with that. Lost his match to Abyss, and thus far, as a result, no longer owns GLCW. He has had to leave the wrestling business. And he finally got what he deserved. Dave finally got what he deserved. So that doesn't mean, though, that my show, my creation, the Pro Wrestling Report, ends. It continues right here on My 24 Milwaukee. The special time here on this Saturday, going into Ring of Honor coming up next right here on My 24 Milwaukee. But I bet you're wondering, who is going to be my co-host going forward? Who is going to sit in that very chair and be my co-host on the Pro Wrestling Report? Well, you know what? We're going to do much like it was done when Kathy Lee Gifford left Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. They had all the fill-in hosts, the guest hosts, if you will. And then I'll decide, whenever I want, as to who's going to be the permanent host. So our first contestant, if you will, joining me here this week is the lovely and talented Linda Kay. Linda, how are you? Thanks for coming down. I'm glad you volunteered to do this.
Yeah, I'm still a little puzzled about what all took place at Blizzard Brawl, Damian.
What do you mean, Dave lost? He got pinned 1, 2, 3 right in the center of the ring.
Fair and square?
He got pinned 1, 2, 3, and it was a Monsters Ball match. There were no rules. Anything went.
I know, but
And just like that referee got yanked out of the ring by me and went into the ring post, anything went.
I know. I'm still in shock, Damian Nelson.
Oh, Linda, you know what? Everybody gets what they deserve. Dave deserved that. And now it's my show. He thought he owned all this. He thought this was his. He thought he was somehow or another a founder or an owner of the Pro Wrestling Report. This is my baby. You know this. This is my show. And now the spotlight will remain on me. And somewhat for you this week. But be that as it may, people don't want to hear about those mundane details about David Herro's non-existence anymore. They want to hear about this week's WWE report. So let's go right down to it. And Linda, I can't wait to hear the things you have to say about these big stories coming out of WWE. As you know, or as you may have heard, John Cena is out with a shoulder injury and he may miss WrestleMania. Now, this is huge for WWE because John Cena is the guy who needs to be on the poster, needs to be a selling point for the event at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. 100,000 people expected to be in the arena on that night or in the stadium on that night. He may have been on his way to a matchup with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. We don't know that for sure, but those rumors are definitely out there. This a huge blow to WWE, especially given the fact that even tomorrow night, John Cena won't be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be there to some extent. We got to see just how well
he's rehabbing. His shoulder's busted.
Maybe it'll have a live feed on him, you know. Maybe he'll give his info.
Via satellite?
Via satellite. But, I mean, obviously, he's got to have some presence there, whether he's there in Orlando or, you know, on satellite. He's got to talk to the fans, and his merch is still going to fly.
Yeah, but a lot of those people in Orlando are going to be there to see John Cena. A lot of the kids who are a lot of his fans won't realize that John Cena is injured or hurt because WWE hasn't necessarily told us.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a bit disappointed. But is this really a good thing for Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns, who now being partnered in a feud with Vince McMahon, he has really taken it to a new level, and the Roman Reigns era, if you will, has seemed to launch with tremendous velocity.
Shades of Austin and McMahon.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Vince McMahon is actively getting in the ring. I mean, granted, he's not, you know, giving a full match yet. We might perhaps see that happen. That might help spruce up the Royal Rumble a little bit, or, you know, on the road to WrestleMania. But that interaction, that feeling, I mean, Raw a couple weeks ago when Vince first came out, and I mean, like, I said that too on the side. I was like, wow, I haven't felt this way about a Monday Night Raw in years.
Here's the thing. A lot of people have said for a long time that Vince McMahon is out of touch. Vince McMahon is, you know, WWE creative is bad. WWE is not as good as it used to be. And, you know, you can cite ratings, attendance, whatever you want for that. But Vince McMahon is a star. And Vince McMahon has all of us in the palm of his hand, as he always does when he's on TV and part of the product. And without him, I think Roman Reigns would still be swimming in the shallow end of the pool as opposed to playing with the big boys down in the deep end. That is this week's WWE Report. We will be back in just a moment to talk to you more about TNA, Ring of Honor, NXT, Linda, the events that are big event coming to Orlando, Florida. That's tomorrow. It's tomorrow with me, Gene Okerlund, Billy Gunn, and Scotty 2 Hottie, and so much more. The Pro Wrestling Report Primetime continues right here on My 24 Milwaukee. This week on the PWR Now Network. Get all the episodes downloaded automatically to your device. Subscribe for free on iTunes, also on Google Play, or you can go to PWR Show.com and download all of them. The PWR Now Network, 100% free and available whenever you want.
When you're diamond shopping, variety is important. At Robert Hack Diamonds, we'll show you multiple diamonds side by side underneath the microscope and show you what to look for when buying a diamond. GIA graduate gemologists are on staff for expert diamond grading. Robert Hack has affordable prices on all diamonds, including diamonds certified by the GIA. Need a mounting for your diamond? Our selection is huge. Buy your diamonds today at Robert Hack Diamonds or visit roberthackdiamonds.com.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night here at a special time on My 24 Milwaukee. We're previewing the Royal Rumble, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view and live on the WWE Network. Damian Nelson sitting alongside the lovely Linda Kay, who is my first of many guest co-hosts, as David Herro is no longer a part of this show.
Well, you know what? I do appreciate this opportunity.
Well, you're better looking than him.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true. Anyway, so folks, let's get to this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report. And big news coming out of TNA this past Tuesday night on Pop TV as a brand new World Heavyweight Champion was crowned. Matt Hardy defeated EC3 in a last man standing match to become the new champion. But Linda, there were some shenanigans as Matt Hardy then joined forces with the man he beat.
Another heel turn.
How do you feel about Matt Hardy in TNA? The show started with him and his brother Jeff and talking about how important the match was and basically, obviously, setting up the heel turn for later on. But Matt Hardy, now the champion again in TNA. Remember last fall he won it, and then the title was vacated due to the controversy, and then we had the longest championship wrestling tournament in the history of championship wrestling tournaments. But Matt Hardy, as the ring holder, if you will, in Impact Wrestling, what do you think?
I mean, it hits you big if you're a big Hardy Boys fan. I mean, him and Jeff, I mean, just everything, all the years of the struggle, the success in WWE and TNA, and just all the changes that have been going on. I mean, like, I think that was great to see that heel turn. I mean, we need just a little, you know, like some little spice, if you will. And
like Spice Girls, spice up your life?
Colors of the world.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Which Spice Girl would you be?
You know what? I always liked Posh. Like, I'm a little sporty to that extent, but I always liked posh.
Mike Bennett makes his in-ring debut. Of course, he along with Maria Kanellis. We'll talk about that in the Ring of Honor report later on as well. But a good fit for TNA Impact Wrestling, I think Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis are. The Pop TV presentation of the show, for those of you that don't know, since we last have been with you, TNA has moved to Pop TV. Now, that is a channel that has actually just gotten more clearances in the country on some additional cable providers. However, they were only able to achieve a viewership of 321,000 people this past week. You compare that to the several million that are watching WWE, and TNA still got some work to do to get themselves noticed and to get themselves back into the mainstream, because when they were on Spike, they were averaging about 1 million viewers a week. So where did those other 700,000 go? Now, good news, they were up about 50,000 viewers from the prior week on Pop TV, this being week 3. But overall, it is a good alternative to WWE for those of you who are talking about your dissatisfaction with World Wrestling Entertainment. That's this week's TNA report. It's time now to go to this week's hot news and some sad news to report. And man, many of us remember from the 80s and 90s wrestling television shows, Challenge, Superstars, what have you, Iron Mike Sharp passed away at the age of 64 just recently. And Iron Mike Sharp, Linda, you know, he was the jobber to the stars, quote unquote, but he's a notable star and one that everybody remembers. If not for the armband, for the every time he connected a blow, he was always screaming, making noise. Big Iron Mike Sharp actually had a big career prior to WWE and was a renowned wrestler.
Well, I remember Wrestling Challenge and seeing Iron Mike. Yeah, I saw that pop up in various news feeds, and that's sad with that. You know, growing up watching him, and that's another one added to this year so far has been.
Yeah, the last 12 months have been a challenge for the business as far as losing some great legends, and rest in peace, Iron Mike Sharp. Next news item is good old JR Jim Ross, a great friend of the show here, is returning to wrestling play-by-play commentary. Big news, as the WWE Hall of Famer will be the new voice of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You got a Oki doing the voice of New Japan Pro Wrestling. But be that as it may, that show airs Friday nights on AXS TV. Jim Ross is going to be joined in the commentary booth by Josh Barnett. Jim Ross, obviously a legendary wrestling commentator. He did Wrestle Kingdom last year, didn't do it this year, but is going to be on weekly wrestling television again on Access starting on Friday, March 4th, I believe, is the first date for that show. You're excited to have JR back on commentary?
I mean, who didn't miss JR? I mean, he was a big piece of Monday Night Raw for me, and obviously he's had his podcast, and I actively follow him on Twitter. Exactly, but I'm excited to hear this.
It's good news, and I'm definitely going to now give New Japan Pro Wrestling more of an opportunity to be part of my DVR cycle each week.
Me too.
Now knowing that he is part of that team. Former WWE star CM Punk recently spoke about his UFC debut and plan. Punk spoke to The Sun in the UK, which is a publication in the UK, and revealed that he does plan to debut at UFC 199 or 200, and that he has at least 8 fights in his UFC contract. He's saying that his UFC run is not for publicity, but because he indeed wants to compete. CM Punk, are you going to watch? Are you a UFC fan, Linda?
Absolutely.
You like
did you happen to see that fight this past Sunday? Did you see that eye?
I did not.
Apparently you didn't see it. It was floating all over social media, too.
The eye was?
Not Punk's eye. You have to catch up on it. But no, I watch UFC. I'm excited to see Punk in the ring. Remember, it was Blizzard Brawl last year when that news broke, remember?
Yeah, absolutely it was.
Yeah, so.
It was the day of Blizzard Brawl, I believe.
Yeah, last year's.
Well, that is this week's hot news, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's time to find out about all the latest and greatest events coming to you from PWR and the Event Center. Linda, take it away.
Thanks, Damien, and welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. On Sunday, February 21st, the Milwaukee Admirals present the Salute to Wrestling, presented by ICAT Logistics at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. The first 5,000 fans get a free Crusher bobblehead. Game time is at 3 p.m. and doors open at 2. The game will feature a meet and greet with the stars of pro wrestling, including WWE Hall of Famers Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Road Warrior Animal, and Bushwhacker Luke. Also appearing will be former WWE Divas Champion Victoria and former WWE Tag Team Champion Billy Gunn. Speaking of Billy Gunn, he will be joining Scotty 2 Hotty and Mean Gene Okerlund for a meet and greet at the Hard Rock Cafe Orlando right before tomorrow's Royal Rumble. Admission is free, and you can RSVP right now at pwrshow.com. And that's it for this week's Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
This week on the PWR Now Network. Get all the episodes downloaded automatically to your device. Subscribe for free on iTunes, also on Google Play, or you can go to PWRshow.com and download all of the PWR Now Network. 100% free and available whenever you want. Welcome back, fans, to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee. A special time at 9:30 p.m. here as we lead into Ring of Honor Wrestling coming up next. And speaking of Ring of Honor Wrestling, you just will see tonight AJ Styles, formerly of TNA, currently of Ring of Honor, involved in a pretty substantial matchup. Actually, it's a six-man tag involving Michael Bennett and Maria as well. Their last appearance with Ring of Honor Wrestling. That happens tonight. It's a fantastic match, so be sure to stick around and tune in and watch it. But AJ Styles is seemingly, very clearly, WWE bound.
Absolutely.
John Cena's putting pictures of him on Instagram. AJ Styles over the last weekend, said that he might just be in the Royal Rumble. Ring of Honor has announced his last date being last night with their company.
But can you just say that, though? Can you just be like, little tease, like, like off air? I'm going to be in the Rumble. Can you do that?
Think about this. Remember, or look at how WWE has been doing things since the launch of the network. Remember how we saw Sting? They announced Sting, teased Sting. They're getting those network subscriptions. Mm-hmm. So while AJ Styles may not be as big a name as Sting, if you will, getting this buzz out there is going to build more interest for the Royal Rumble, get more network subscriptions. It's a different business model now. So I think that they're deliberately, John Cena wouldn't have put his picture on Instagram if they didn't want the word to get out that AJ Styles is probably WWE bound. Now what's interesting about that is, a few years ago, AJ Styles was on this very program, and we talked about his first try in WWE and how he was so happy at the time in TNA Impact Wrestling. But he has done well for himself as well as of late in Ring of Honor and working in Japan and everywhere else. Be interesting to see what this means for AJ Styles in WWE. Will he be a part of tomorrow's Royal Rumble? Will he be going down to NXT, or will he become a main roster sensation? We'll find out as tomorrow progresses. And now let's go on to this week's NXT Wrestling Report. And big show this past week from NXT as Sami Zayn returned to in-ring action on this week's show. Did you miss Sami? Sami boy?
Well, I got the pleasure of seeing him live and in action.
How was that event? NXT was here in Milwaukee last Thursday night. What did you think of the first live event experience from NXT from your perspective, Linda?
In the words of Dave Herro, it was #tremendous. It was amazing. I got to sit right by the stage, right next to the ramp, seeing everybody come out, and just that atmosphere at Turner Hall for a live event show, just like all the ROH shows that have been here. I mean, just that feeling gives you goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps right now, but seeing.
Was that what those are?
Yes. I got to see Sami Zayn live, and Bayley.
Yes.
I love her. And then they had the big blow-up things floating around. I don't know, it's just all around great atmosphere.
What about those goosebumps?
The goosebumps all popping out, yes.
So now you've been to Ring of Honor at Turner Hall in Milwaukee.
Yes.
And you've been to now NXT at Turner Hall in Milwaukee. Can you compare the two events?
I would say pretty similar as far as the interaction from everybody, the chants, and just the all-around interest from everybody. But
now, are you an avid viewer of NXT on a weekly basis on the WWE Network?
I catch it when I can.
What did going to the live event? What did that do to your viewing habits now? Is it a show you're going to be more in tune with, inclined to watch on a weekly basis?
Absolutely. Really? Again, like watching it on the network, you hear the chants and all that. I just was like, hey, we want some Bayley. Getting to do that, I was happy. It was a lot of fun.
Who needs that Mighty Mouse guy? David, what was his name again? David what?
Herro.
Oh, he never sang, danced, and Had goosebumps. Folks, be sure to check out PWR Reaction live each Monday and Wednesday night right after Raw and NXT on Blog Talk Radio. That's blogtalkradio.com/PWR. And you can also pick it up on demand on the PWR Now Network. The PWR Now Network is our podcast network, which features the podcast from Mean Gene Okerlund, which we're recording a series of tomorrow at the Royal Rumble. I'll be down in Orlando with good old Mean Gene. And also Head with Al Snow, which has yet to debut because of, well, the situation with David Herro, who was supposed to be Al's co-host. But, Linda, big announcement. We do have yet another star joining us in the podcast world. You ready?
Yes.
ODB. Launching her own podcast on the PWR Now Podcast Network as well. All that information available right now at PWRshow.com. The PWR Now Network is 100% completely free. It's $9.90 free to sign up and get those podcasts on your device. So that wraps that up. And, well, Linda, when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. And I don't know why, but during the last break, I got a notification that there's an attorney here to see me for some reason. So we'll see what that's about. PWR Primetime continues here on My 24 Milwaukee. This week on the PWR Now Network. Get all the episodes downloaded automatically to your device. Subscribe for free on iTunes. Also on Google Play, or you can go to PWRshow.com and download all the PWR Now Network. 100% free and available whenever you want. Welcome back, fans. The Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside Linda Kay as we go on the last leg of our journey here in a hero-free zone, and it feels dang good. But, you know, I will say one thing I will miss. Be the booker. Because you didn't bring the dry erase board and everything. You didn't want to. You said you didn't want to step on Dave's toes.
I didn't get the memo.
See what I did there?
Oh my gosh.
It's true. But we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble because it is one versus all tomorrow night on pay-per-view. Every participant in the Rumble match has a chance to leave as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because Roman Reigns is defending his title in the Royal Rumble matchup. This is huge and substantial, Linda. Never been done before. Yep. However, the championship has been won in Rumbles past, i.e. 1992 Ric Flair, but the dynamic of this matchup, all centered around Roman Reigns and his championship, somewhat centered around Brock Lesnar as well.
Yeah.
But without even knowing all the participants in the Rumble, because really the list is fairly unique, this is going to be a pretty big odd for Reigns to overcome.
Well, we kind of got I think it was a preview this past Raw on Jericho's highlight reel.
Yes.
Remember? And he was like the main, what did he say? Not the expected winners, but like
the former champions or the main contenders.
Main contenders,
yes.
Thank you. But, you had Reigns out there, Brock, Jericho's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to figure it's going to be Reigns and Lesnar in the end.
Yeah.
But
and then, or maybe, or does, I think Reigns has to win the Rumble tomorrow.
Absolutely.
However, you got an opportunity for Brock Lesnar to win the Rumble tomorrow, get that championship, or get the championship, and then if you get the championship, who's going on to main event WrestleMania? The second to last guy that was in, Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania, is probably the match they're going to have to go with. Because who else do you put Brock Lesnar with at this point? And who else is a viable challenger for Brock Lesnar? For Roman Reigns for the championship right now that's WrestleMania worthy. It's going to be a unique Royal Rumble event tomorrow night, Linda, coming out of it, where I, again, expect Roman Reigns to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar won, and the scenario you developed as well, with those two being the last two men standing in the ring before the pyro goes off. Other matches happening at the Royal Rumble. It will be Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship in a last man standing match. I pray to God Kevin Owens wins that matchup. Kalisto versus Del Rio for the United States Championship. I will probably grab a beer. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. Charlotte defending the Divas Championship, the new dirtiest player in the game, I guess you can call her.
Looking forward to that match.
And then the New Day versus the Usos, which will be incredibly entertaining.
New Day!
Yes, so the Rumble, it's going to be fun. I'll be there live. It'll be my second Rumble that I've been to, and I can't wait to get down to the MCO Orlando to check it out. It's going to be a blast. But, we talked about that lawyer that was here. Apparently, it's a statement.
What's up with that?
Oh, no, it's all good. He has a statement following up to the situation of last month, in my favor, of course, with David Herro being removed from the show. So let's now go to Emmett. Mr. Light is the representative from the law offices.
Hello, my name is Emmett S. Light, Esquire. I represent the law offices of Jerry McDivitz. I received the following from David Herro, and I will read it to you now. Hello again, super friends. You have all heard or seen by now what happened at Blizzard Brawl when my best friend revealed his true colors and cost me the match against Abyss and my ownership in GLCW. I am a man, and therefore will take the loss as a man. However, if you look closely at the tape, as I have many, many times, you will see something that cannot be disputed. When the turncoat Damian Nelson yanked the referee out of the ring, you can see clearly that the referee did successfully count at 3. There it is. 1, 2, 3. In all the confusion and the shock that fell over the Expo Center, the timekeeper never rang the bell. I pinned Abyss. 1, 2, 3. Right there in the ring. But as I said, I'm going to take the loss like a man. But I will not take losing my spot on this show, my show, lightly. I am putting in a formal request for the Super Friends to chime in, tell me what you see in the video. Did the referee count to 3? Head over to the PWRshow.com right now to tell us what you think. Next month, we will share the results with you here on this show, and if the Super Friends unite and vote yes, I will not only be able to return to Primetime, but I will also be the new owner of PWR. That's right, Nelson's plan has a good chance of backfiring, but I need you, I need your help. Go and watch for yourself and vote now at PWRshow.com.
Wow. Wow, Damian.
Here's the thing. No, there is no thing. You know what? I'm not worried about a thing. Because I'm Teflon. I got nothing to worry about. We'll see you next month.